We have a gift. We want to share.
Nganjorp nunat niti yakin ngala bunja. Buja ngala murt wangin yakin kora. This is country that our old people walked on and talked on a long time ago. We were born into a circle of harmony and belonging. The Wakal and the rainbow spirit, and the Wait, the emu, are our creator beings. Creator beings in the world of Nyunga. The world, of course, was dictated by the prevailing winds, which meant the family or Murt moved through the landscape. They followed in the footsteps of their ancestral fathers, who had been taught and guided by the creators who had provided and stocked the country with wildlife, species of plants, kalep, or our places of shelter, and water resources or water sources to maintain everything.
Our thinking is not separate from our practice. And we've developed governance systems that reflect these beliefs, and those governance systems clearly work. The land is sacred to us, and our aim is to pass on a better world to our children. We live in this world. We're not going back to the old ways. We want to get on in the modern world, and we want to do it with people. So in summary, for natural capital accounting, the approach to apply is Western economic and actuarial modelling approaches, which are consistent with Indigenous principles.
So if we consider our project using provisioning services, and we start with abiotic and use it as a building block for the biotic, you can see that there's a structure that is going to be attractive to investors.
What we've done for 2,000 plus generations is had a series of systems and coded systems that gave us wealth in knowledge, wealth in connections. No one was hungry. Everyone had a purpose, a place, and a connect. Every plant and animal had a connect. So that system was honed over 2,000 generations. And because it was honed very slowly, trial and error, it was a strong foundation, a very strong foundation, but a fragile one. And it was all based on those 5 values: respect, honesty, integrity. All of those values were ingrained into this system over a number of generations.
There's 2 to 3 million hectares of that landscape where the current form of agriculture doesn't apply in the business model as it sets today. And that's a place where agriculture would have a conversation around tenure and capacity to bring natural capital into those large corridors of the wheat belt valleys and the water systems of the wheat belt and in Ballalong country, where I think there's a real openness and a capacity to have that conversation. I also sit on the Soil Land Conservation Council, which is a minister-appointed body, which is also thinking about that same story, about how you reconnect those large river systems of the wheat belt in a way that is sympathetic to agriculture and sympathetic to landscape history.
They also identified the most economic outcome for that farmer's revenue from the native seeds and honey sales. So they were going to have bees around the solar farm and eucalyptus to protect it. They saw the opportunity. It would be a plant hotspot. It would be a tourist attraction. It would create local employment opportunity from both the solar farm construction operations, but also then managing that whole seed farm and honey extraction.
So as Noongar people and as First Nations peoples, Budja, country is always in the middle. That's why we start with principles in the NLE of Budja first. That's a fundamental in the way we think about our country, how we manage land, how we develop enterprises. Budja first. And if it's not a positive response, then we don't do it. If it's not good for country, we don't even start a strategy or a plan to implement it. We're ready to do stuff that Neil presented, that Rick has spoken about. We're ready to attract and inspire the investors who are in on this conversation. Whether it's government, whether it's industry, whether it's the philanthropic sector, or whether it's corporate investors. We're ready. And so should a whole lot of other Aboriginal people who hold land. We want to inspire each other. We want to inspire you, mob. We want to inspire our own mob to actually think about being ready, because that tsunami is now moving towards us. Right? And let's not try not to be too reactive. Let's be proactive in how we think about managing stuff. So this land here, in that foreground particularly, is now all available land. It was still cropped in this photo, but now the farmers are gone. No more agriculture, whitefellow agriculture. We have up to 500 acres. If we want to put solar panels, if we want to put water rehydration activities, if we want to plant more trees, if we want to grow bush food, if we want to grow carrots, the opportunity to utilise this land as an asset is now real. So being investment ready is so important in what we're talking about as Aboriginal people. Something happens, stuff happens. We got a word for it, called buoy. Magic happens when spirit is incorporated into a management plan. When Nuar people as traditional owners and cultural and spiritual knowledge holders incorporate good management, good governance, and just good work, good hard work, country responds. So singing to country, speaking to country, sitting on country, acknowledging country, are all unwritten practices that are very intangible in terms of how do you teach that? Who knows how to do that? We do.